everyone. I hope everybody's doing well, blessed, and enjoying family. As always, muchas gracias to all for everyone's words, wishes, prayers, and the love and support everyone extends my way. From the heart, gracias. And do please like, share, subscribe, and hype the video if you like the content. Thank you. Well, everyone, for this one, I want to continue off on my story. Almost there. About two episodes left, and I think I'll be concluding at least my full story, right? And then I could, in peace, be touching on certain topics and go back and at least to the security that I have my full story out there. That was the purpose when I came on here, right? But today I want to discuss the betrayal of two camaradas, right? From Barrio 18 down here that basically they blended in how things work down here. You know, guess in their head they never had plans of going back, following suit again. So they became maras, right? For those that don't know, 18 is basically split in two. In Central, you have the 18 sureños that ride with us, and then you have the mareros 18, which they're all about themselves, right? I'm not gonna say they're part of Mara 13, but they're at peace with them, you know, for obvious reasons. But anyways, as I mentioned on the last episode, we're going down the coast, and our next stop before trying to get up into the capital, right? That was the goal, which was to clear house of the capital and allow basically Sinaloa to get up in there and take control. In the sense, as many as there was of us, I see the point of us being there. We didn't blend in like in other spots, mainly because we got confused a lot, right, by a mess because they were deep in Oaxaca in these areas. So it weren't like we're going outside the norm. Usually we're gonna go hit something, a target, we're gonna study it and then hit it, however you want to look at it. We went up in the mountains. We hardly came down till it was time to boogie. This was different though. There were supposed to be camaradas where they sat there for a while, and we're literally landing in the cities, in the towns, as we were supposed to right here in Santa Maria de Mar, or as people from Oaxaca know it, right? Santa Maria Atsopa or something to that effect, right? Which stands for the same. Do excuse if I didn't pronounce it right. But anyways, we're supposed to touch base, with Junior from Hollywood Gangsters from 18th Street, and the homie Shark or Sharky from West Side, I forgot what 18 clique he was from, but they were both from 18. They have done some federal time, some state time, and well, at least when it came to Junior, he knew personally the Pili Chango or Mono, Mono, what he went by down here, and Mono had a lot of trust in him. I mean, he was with us, right? It wasn't like we went in first, open cancha, and allowed them to come in to and be secure. No, they were going in there feeling trustworthy because they're the ones that knew these individuals, right? And for a long time, they've been working with Sinaloa, even though there's other bosses down here in Oaxaca, and then they were going against the whole army, to be sincere. I just thought it was our presence wasn't necessary down there, but I understand, while I was being involved of opening areas, it was going to bring a lot of good, right? Or to the Pilis, or to us as a whole, right? Prices, pipelines, more trust, things like that aspect, right? So, anyways, we landed with Junior. It was in the town. He had a whole little bungalows, right? Bungalows is, you could say, it's kind of like a hotel, but it's more complete. It has it's a room with a kitchen and all the little things to cook and stuff. Again, I made it known, I didn't feel comfortable. I felt like a chicken trapped, because we were in town, knowing there's an open war, and to me, it felt like we were being set up to lower our guard. But at all times, I was being told to settle in, that homeboy had done his share and he was trustworthy. He wasn't gonna let slide what was being offered to him, right? And it wasn't because I was down in the homie. I just didn't feel comfortable with the situation. With this, by this time, we had been involved in a few different states, right? And it was never like this. But anyways, again, I was nobody, so I followed suit like I was supposed to, right? And we were there for a week, and we were picking up intel of what we were telling we should pick up intel, which it would turn around and bite us in the butt. What I mean by this, little by little, things weren't making sense. And sat down with the he was the most reasonable peely with us, and told him on the DL, get at the old man from Ontario, that it just wasn't making sense. And basically started poking at things that he started seeing that it was just too calm to be sincere compared to the intel we got before we went up in there. And it was from the same people who were getting the intel to what we were seeing. Basically casitas that they were supposed to be there weren't there when we ran up in there. And when certain individuals went to an area that was supposed to be calm, they would get clipped. It's just little small things that they were supposed to be one way, but they were a complete opposite, right? At one point, I even suggested, there's a coastline right here with mountains. You just pick up some grub, some food, load up some things, and go uphill, and we'll sit up there. There's no fire needed, none of that, let's just go sit up there and make sense of things. Started feeling more uncomfortable with us being in town. I even There was an argument, right, amongst a camarada that was with us from South Central, and about the junior. And basically, he let it be known he felt uncomfortable, even though he got told to be quiet. He still let it be known, right? And homeboy Junior saw in his life he was loyal to what he was, And remember, I turned around and told Lo, hey, something funny happened. I'm gonna turn around and smoke homeboy, because it ain't cool. It just it was starting to look real clear, right? And I remember one day, Billy's right, and some old homies that were with us, that they felt they needed to relax. I mean, make that make sense, right? In the middle of a war, things ain't looking good. Everyone feels uncomfortable. And out of the whole bunch, only four of us weren't willing to get high, drink, and basically completely put our guard down, right? But Homo Junior and the other homie from 18, they said they're gonna bring some hyenas from Honduras, from the neighborhood, right, to party. And that night we were supposed to actually start hoop banging. So of course, being true to that Tecato mentality, they decided, okay, let's put it off for the next day. Which again, me being a sureño, I didn't have no say so. And anyways, the homie, the homie payaso, and there was another homie from Carnales, both from Central, right? They were older, even though a couple days back, homeboy had made it clear it wasn't feeling right for whatever reason, and now all of a sudden he was with partying, right, getting high, and just completely throw out the window what we were there for, right? And so, anyways, by the night, them hyenas came over, and maybe a couple hours into the fiesta or whatever the borlo that was happening, right? Of course, you guys know how it goes. A couple homies started going back with hyenas and just basically completely unguarding these individuals, right? And they hit us. MS 13 hit us and 18th Street hit us. Is when it all hit the fan, right? When it came to Shark, Bandit, and Junior, these were individuals that supposedly were with us. They were making feria with us, right? And they were supposed to be solid camaradas, known in the shoes, in the feds. But ever since they hit down there, they didn't have plans to go back. So they joined them Rafla Nacionales type of thing. And they were double dipping, which they were smarter than the Pilis, right? Or in this case, a lot of vatos, right? Because, hey, they were there playing the part like they were doing things for Sinaloa, getting jale, getting paid. At the same time, they're working with their own people, you know? And I don't know if you say you can't really blame these individuals because, well, at least me, even when it came to my family and everything, I was always real clear, can't do it because I feel it's not the right way, right? The right way is, hey, aquí estoy, soy esto, let's boogie. There's no need for that chavala talk or chavala lies. I understand it's a whole different world down here and they work on deception and betrayal and telling. But again, I just wasn't used to it. I should have been by now, right? I'll be clear, that day they hit us, the four of us, we concentrated, as you guys know, on the Pilis, which is wrong. They're the ones that had us put our whole guard down due to them wanting to get high. Again, that's all the movement has become, right? Us chasing their dope, their feria, anywhere. And but anyways, our duty was to shield and protect them, right? Get them out of there. The vatos that were with us from Sinaloa, they were gonna go on our necks, and it was just understandable because they were there. in a secure spot, supposedly, because we let them there. So, anyways, to make a long story short, they went up in there, and the two that were in the back rooms with hyenas, there was the vato from Carnales and the other homie from 41st or 42nd, from 40 something, right? Payaso, and that's how we found out because they don't them. Then all of a sudden, the soldado came out of Junior, right? And it's what I always talk about, you know. There's individuals that pretend to the part. If you see Junior, you know exactly what I'm trying to say. Big old dude, I'm talking about big old dude, older, but not old like that, but older, right? Yoked up, all blasted, always talking about Sureño this, the causa that. And when this started going down, it was all about Mara, F the Sur, you know, Sur to what they were down there was weak. Ain't nobody trying to run under nobody, you know, them type of comments that fools that Winnie out used, right? And at the same time, he was dumping against us. Well, again, I don't want to make it long. Hopefully, one day, H&Rs would open up that Discord so we could get more into detail. I do want to conclude my story to put it on here, and so it's on here. You know, a lot of things are happening. I seen that neurologo or head doctor today, and I don't know why. Whenever I'm going through something like chemo, they want to do something like that. You know, when I already have 4% chance of making it through, they still want to get me on my weakest spot. But anyways, I want the story to be on here. Those have been when we know if things happen, they happen, right? But anyways, I'll put it to you like this. Camaradas, it was 9 of us. 4 pilis. 6 of us took out the pilis. 3 camaradas got taken out. One of the pilis, in this case, was Richard, got shot. He got he got saved, not by us, to be sincere, it was the Sinaloas that were with us. It just happened, they started dumping back. And imagine this is happening on a little bungalow. 1 bedroom with 3 beds and a little kitchen. They ran up in there. Cause that night we were supposed to hit them and they hit us. We got set up, straight up. From that moment on, we just knew, we couldn't trust these individuals that had been deported to Honduras or El Salvador, specifically the hyenas out there, our homegirls per se, because they're willing to go as far as they need to set us up. Remember, they have a whole set of rules and regulations that we ain't willing to play by, without counting all the out of bounds nasty stuff they do. They're set for war, straight up. And most of us in Cali, besides that partying, going out, getting a little shootout, whatever, we ain't really, you know. But that was the outcome. But here's the kicker: Chango or Mono from Monterio de Pili He was supposed to be piloting all of us, right? Of course, the other Pilis didn't really have to really follow suit because they were who they were, but old man has said he had the last word. But guess who had to answer to Daryl? Guess who got his ear smacked back? When in reality, I didn't even know them individuals from 18. But we thought we had learned from this experience. We went uphill, settled in. We were supposed to get out of Oaxaca. But like I will tell in the next episode, things got a little crazy with Sinaloa. Trust wise, family came down on me on the police as I was tell again, and we decided to move into the capital, thinking we were more set in the knowledge of what to expect. And boy, we were wrong. If you guys recall, is what ended up putting us in the prison in Oaxaca, me in the hospital. But I'll get into that. Again, I just want to continue a little bit with my story. Hope everybody's always blessed. Stay true to yourself and loyal to loved ones.